What's good, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are preparing physically, mentally, and spiritually for the dark times that are ahead of us. And I hope you guys are getting right with God and staying strong. Got some more important information to share with you guys today. And I'm sure you guys seen all the stories that have came out this morning today about the whole worldwide. I'm gonna let this truck pass by. About this worldwide internet outage thing that supposedly happened. And I did notice that I did have some internet problems, for like a short period of time. But for the most part, my internet was still working. So it's becoming more clear as days go by and as time goes on what the next big thing is. We've talked about this a lot, but it's becoming very, very obvious what the next big plan is. And as you guys see, shortages are getting worse already, and we're already seeing more stories about things, relating to cyber attacks and things relating to outages, power outages, right? I even made a video a few weeks ago about how there was like rolling blackouts in Taiwan. This is all leading up to the big plan that they have for humanity. And this is just the beginning phases too. We're still in the beginning phases. They haven't even flipped the switch entirely just yet. So that's why it's important for you to prepare yourself as much as possible, because nothing's going back to normal. And what you seen in 2020 was just a little dry run, folks. It was a dry run. It wasn't nothing. Everybody was complaining and crying about how bad it was, not realizing that bigger things are coming, like a grid shutdown. But yeah, so I'm sure you guys seen that, and I made some community posts about it on my YouTube. Of course, this is the platform that I'm posting this on. But I'm sure you guys have seen that already, and even Southern Prepper 1 made a video about it. Another great channel, by the way, that's talking about this stuff. Give me a second. I'm going to cross over here really quickly. All right. But like I was saying though, Southern Prepper 1, another great channel, he made a video about it. And supposedly, this is what happened today. If you look up internet outages, you'll see so many different stories about it. Even the mainstream media is talking about it. Even though you guys already know the truth about them. But this is leading up to the big event, folks. This is what it's doing, It's preparing us for the bigger event that they're going to be doing with this whole thing. You have literally Klaus Schwab on video strongly hinting at a complete grid shutdown on video. And there's also another issue on our hands too that's apparently taking place, and that's basically, I wouldn't consider this as much of an issue as what we're dealing with right now, like with what's getting worse and with what's coming, because what's coming is going to be way worse than this. But another thing that's happening right now is apparently labor shortages. A lot of people don't want to work. A lot of people are still on unemployment benefits, and what that's doing is it's getting people on board with universal basic income. I'm going to edit this video out so that it's not that much background noise. But yeah, so that's another thing that's currently happening. A lot of restaurants are even, being forced to shut down because a lot of people don't want to work. And a lot of people are still on unemployment benefits. I know some states got rid of them. I think most of the states got rid of them, and some of them actually kept them, if I'm not mistaken. But there are some states that still have the unemployment benefits, and there's still some states that don't. Even in my state, they actually are keeping it for now. But this is all leading up to the acceptance of UBI, folks. And I can totally understand why people wouldn't want to work. I get it, I know those jobs are very stressful. I already know you know, what it feels like to be in a position like that. But at the same time, you can't expect to just, you can't expect for your life to be all, good and just fantastic without you doing anything, sitting back, not doing anything, not being productive, just being lazy, things like that also lead up to obesity, and that's not good, obviously. Causes a lot of health problems. But this is already getting people on board with UBI. And also, you already had the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, talking about how a digital dollar is a high priority. But folks, I want you to understand that eventually it's going to come to a point. You also have this whole inflation problem too, that's still getting worse. It's going to come to a point where people are going to get very angry. And there's even a video from the World Economic Forum where they talked about how we need to prepare for an angrier world. And I believe that video came out last year. But they talked about how, we need to prepare for an angrier world because, you see, they know exactly what's going to take place in this world because they know what the plan is. They're on board with the entire agenda. So they know exactly what's going to take place. And these people are telling you, they're not hiding the fact that things are going to get worse. They're not hiding the fact that something bigger is in the making right now. They're not hiding the fact that everything that happened in 2020 was just a warm-up. These people are telling you, even on video, what they're planning on doing. And that's why it's important for all of us to prepare ourselves physically and, most importantly, mentally and spiritually. Because if you're not prepared physically, mentally, and spiritually, it's going to be a lot of consequences to that, especially if you're not prepared for it spiritually and mentally. You're going to just end up breaking down so easily when the real collapse actually takes place. And when you really start seeing this SHTF scenario go down. There's literally a whole new Purge movie coming out next month. July 2nd, I believe it is. I remember it was supposed to come out last year, but they delayed it. But the point is, folks, is that everything that they've been programming us with, so many different types of movies, like The Walking Dead, Z Nation, The Purge, many different movies of The Purge too, and many different seasons of The Walking Dead and the Z Nation, right? You got to understand, they've been conditioning us. They've been doing this too, but they've been conditioning us to accept these types of realities where pretty much things are just apocalyptic. And you guys know I've mentioned the whole thing with how, the CDC talked about zombie preparedness, right? You have to really connect the dots, folks, and see what this is leading up to and where this is going. Because these people don't hide it. These people, they don't keep it a secret. They openly tell you. It's just, are you going to connect the dots and do the research? Or are you going to just sit back and stay ignorant about it and pretend that, everything's going to be fine? I still, and not that I care, but, once in a while you'll have, the delusional person who come on your page and be like, none of this is happening. Things are going to go back to normal eventually and things are going to get better. And this agenda is not taking place and it's not being implemented. And there's still people who think that Donald Trump is going to save them too. Another pretty comical thing too. A guy who's literally connected, heavily connected, and can be seen shaking hands with the Jesuits and the Clintons and Epstein, right? People still think that this guy is going to save them. I'm going to tell you, right? I'm going to tell you straight up, folks. And I really don't like talking about this topic with this guy right here, because, you're going to always have those people, who just don't get it, and I'm not going to argue about it, anymore. If people don't see it by now, I don't know what to tell them. But this guy has fooled the masses very well. And especially a lot of people within the so-called truther community. And even I at one point last year, like when I was, in the process of, starting to wake up, even I, actually fell for this crap myself. I don't even know how. But back when I didn't understand how psychological operations worked and how deceptive these people were, that's when I fell for it. But then later on, I started understanding how it worked, and I realized and saw the bigger picture of the whole thing. And that's the fact that the guy's not on your side, folks. There's way more evidence that this guy's on board with the agenda than him being for you and him being on your side. He's not on your side. He's Jesuit educated. He's been pushing 5G. He's been pushing the vax agenda like crazy. You know, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. This is the last time that I'm going to talk about this guy on my video and on my whole channel. But prepare yourselves as much as possible, folks. We are going to be under a very serious SHTF scenario like you've never seen before. Again, nobody knows the exact time that it's going to happen.